This year, we're starting off with opening and closing night. We're really happy to introduce two real gems of films. I think you're all gonna really enjoy the films that we bookend the festival with this year. They're both narrative films. They're both romances, but I think that's really where the similarities end. And in a lot of ways, these two films give us a really strong sense of where American independent cinema is and where it's going. And on opening night, we'll be screening the latest feature from David Kaplan, a New York-based filmmaker. This is his second feature. He was with a festival a couple years ago with his film Year of the Fish. And today's special, it is written by and stars Asif Manvi. I think a lot of folks know him from the Jon Stewart Daily Show. He's the senior foreign-looking correspondent on the Daily Show. And it's a romantic foodie comedy set in New York City. He plays an out-of-work sous chef. What really is kind of striking about the film is the comedy and the comic timing that comes from him, but also the great cast. It stars him as well as Madhur Jaffrey, the great Indian chef, as his mother, and also the scene stealer is Nazaruddin Shah. You see here, a lot of folks saw him in Monsoon Wedding. He plays a cabbie who sort of helps Asif's character right his ways. And if you liked his stuff on The Daily Show, I think that you'll really enjoy the kind of comedy and soulfulness that he brings to the script. And during the festival, too, Asif will be here to present the film, as well as a few days into the festival, offer a onstage conversation to talk a bit about working with Jon Stewart. His breakthrough film was The Mystic Masseur. He'll talk a bit about that, as well as his upcoming role in The Last Airbender, which I think we're all very curious about, too. So Asif will be here. And the opening night film, as always, will be screened at the Castro Theater, and the gala will be at the Asian Art Museum, as always. So on the flip side, on closing night, we're very happy to be screening a debut feature from a young Taiwanese-American filmmaker, Arvin Chen. Arvin is a native of the Bay Area. He's from Foster City. It's his first feature, Au revoir Taipei. And it's sort of like a caper romantic comedy set in the street, in the night markets of Taiwan. And a fun story here, Arvin was at the festival 2 years ago with his film May, a short film, and he met another producer here named In Ha Lee, who was here with her film American Zombie. The two met, they hit it off, and actually this is the product of that meeting. She produced, he directed, and we're really happy to have them back here with this thing that was sort of born at the festival a couple of years ago. The film is having its premiere at the Berlin Film Festival, I think this week, and we'll be happy to have some of the actors, as well as Arvin and In Ha here, to present the film. And the closing night gala will also be held at Temple Nightclub in San Francisco.
So another huge Asian American film we have this year is our centerpiece presentation, The People I've Slept With, directed by Quentin Lee. And Quentin is no stranger to the Asian American and queer film communities. We first saw him in '97 when he co-directed Shopping with Bangs with Justin Lin. And his latest offering is really kind of a racy, raunchy sex comedy, starring like a whole slew of Asian American actors, old and new faces, that include Karen Anna Chung from Better Luck Tomorrow, Archie Kao, who's also up there from the TV show CSI, and James Shigeta, who is a previous Sfiaaff Spotlight recipient. Which brings us to our Spotlight filmmaker of this year, Frida Lee Mock. I'm very pleased to have Frida Lee Mock with us this year. She's really a pioneering filmmaker, and many of you may know her from her various roles as a director and a writer and a producer. She's won both Oscar and Emmy Awards, including an Academy Award for Maya Lin, Strong Clear Vision. And she's worked on numerous portrait pictures of notable figures like Steven Spielberg and Lillian Gish and Tony Kushner. So this year we're showing two of her latest films. We're really excited about it. One of them is Sing China, with the exclamation mark at the end. And it follows the Los Angeles Children's Choir as they travel to China on the eve of the 2008 Olympics. And the second one is Lieutenant Watada. And this documentary is about Lieutenant Aaron Watada, who was the first commissioned officer in the U.S. Armed Forces to refuse to deploy to Iraq, and as a result was court-martialed for it. So the documentary kind of follows his legal and personal battles as he faces the consequences of his actions. And the film was also shortlisted for Best Short Documentary this year for the Oscars. So that is our spotlight.
And that brings us to a special presentation. We have 4 films this year, both from local filmmakers and international filmmakers. we're very, very excited to present the world premiere of Diane Borchet-Lim's In the Measure of Cha Jung-hee. It's funded by CAAM. It's one of the many films that is funded by CAAM that will be in the festival this year. And this is the follow-up to her documentary, First Person Plural, which many of you might know about. Diane is a Korean adoptee, and this is about her journey to find her true identity and her true origin. And you see what I mean that literally. So we're excited to have Diane here to present this film with us, and you guys will be the first to see it. Another film we're presenting is City of Life and Death by Chinese filmmaker Lu Chuan. This film has been in the press lately. I don't know if you know, there's been stirring up a lot of controversy. It's about the Nanking Massacre, which, brief note, is 1937, Japanese took the city of Nanking, then the Chinese capital, and it's estimated to have murdered about 300,000 people in a space of a few weeks. And this film is very unusual because it's a Chinese film, but that actually shows the viewpoints of both Japanese and Chinese soldiers, which is very rare. And because of that, has stirred up a lot of debate both abroad and at home. And to bring this matter to more discussion, Michael Berry, who's a writer, will be discussing these issues at a lecture at USF on March 10th, and we're working with them to present that. Another Chinese film that we're showing is Seven Intellectuals in a Bamboo Forest by Chinese artist Yang Fudong. This is a presentation that's actually in conjunction with the Shanghai exhibit at the Asian Art Museum that's starting this week. It's an art house film. It's actually a 5-part series designed to be part installation, part feature. And we're going to be showing 2 parts of that, parts 4 and parts 5, in the cinema. And it's inspired by these Taoist intellectuals. The 7 sages in a bamboo grove, I really didn't want to screw that up. But it's inspired by that. So this is mainly shown in Shanghai, and it's a beautiful piece of work, and we're very excited to be showing it. And we are also presenting the US premiere of Cooking with Stella. It's the debut narrative feature by Dilip Mehta, brother of Deepa Mehta, who he works very closely with and co-wrote this film with him. Last year, Dilip's documentary, The Forgotten Woman, was our special presentation. So we're very excited to show his latest piece of work. As you can see, it's another cooking kind of comedy, but this is more satire about Indian cultures and Western cultures clashing. It's a lot of fun. It stars, as you can see, Sima Biswas, who you might remember from Water, and Canadian actor Don McKellar. But this is a film that I think will tickle you. It's fun. And we will be returning with the Vaults this year. Every year we present a restored or old classic at the Castro Theatre on Sunday. And this year we will be presenting The Housemaid. It's a Korean film by Kim Ki-yeon, made in 1960. And this film is restored by Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Foundation. He's a big fan of the film. And it has been quoted as a film that makes Fatal Attraction looks like the Brady Bunch. So if that gives you an idea of what this film is like, it's very, very dark for its time, and in my opinion, definitely influenced a lot of new Korean cinema. It's adultery, murder, a lot of rat poison. It's definitely one to be seen perfectly restored in the Castro.